I love The Best Christmas Pageant Ever by Barbara Robinson. It's a great book. She wrote two sequels, The Best School Year Ever and The Best Halloween Ever. Both are fun, but neither is as great as The Best Christmas Pageant. So I'm really excited about this new movie coming up. Let's watch the trailer. Actually, you should watch the trailer in another video because this one has the watermark and it's not going to be great quality.
Don't miss out. The annual Christmas pageant tickets are on sale now.
They're advertising it on TV now?
The pageant is an especially big deal this year. It's the 75th anniversary.
Yeah, the Christmas pageant wasn't that big of a deal in the book, but, you know, movies, they gotta make everything more dramatic.
I want to give special mention to Grace for volunteering to direct it.
You did what?
Oh no. Did somebody die?
It's worse than that, son.
It's going to be the best Christmas pageant ever.
Okay, that's like the book. The mom's the only one that likes the pageant. The dad and the kids don't really like it. It's not as over the top in the book, though, but this is still funny in its own way.
Oh no, it's the Hermans. Now. The Hermans are absolutely the worst kids in the history of the world.
What'd they do now, dear? Break another window?
Set something on fire?
Steal your lunch and then punch you for not having any candy? No, even worse.
Well, it looks like they're not toning down or sanitizing the Herdmans. That's good.
We're gonna be in your Bible play.
Herdmans in church.
Oh boy.
We take the pageant seriously.
It's good to see Mrs. Armstrong still breaks her leg. I was scared from what they said about Mom volunteering that they changed that.
About community and tradition.
What do you all suggest, that I kick the Herdmans out of the church?
Yes.
So this is technically like the book. There were a bunch of ladies at church who wanted to kick the Herdmans out of the pageant. It was more realistic in the book. Like, they didn't all form a group and confront the mom. They called her individually. And not all of them were this blunt. Some of them, like, tried to be nice. Mrs. Homer McCarthy called Mother to say that she'd been thinking about it, and if the Herdmans wanted to participate in our Christmas celebration, why didn't we let them hand out programs at the door? We don't have programs for the Christmas pageant, Mother said. Well, maybe we ought to get some printed and put the Herdmans in charge of that. I feel like it's funnier in the book because it feels like that's how it would really happen. Making it more over the top like this actually makes it less funny, I feel.
I want to be Mary, and Ralph wants to be Joe.
And the angel of the Lord?
The Herdmen shouldn't be here.
They're a poor influence. You don't look like any Mary I've seen before.
Don't touch him. I'm happy to take over the part at any time.
Good to see Alice Wendelkin's here. I was wondering where she was.
I can't just kick him out.
I thought you all might be interested in one of my stuffs.
You never told me you visited the Herdmans.
I got the biggest ham for you guys. Is your mom home?
Not when the sun's up.
So it looks like they're trying to make the Herdmans sympathetic earlier than the book does. Like, it's true that their parents aren't around in the book, but it's played much more for laughs. They didn't know what their father was or where he was or anything about him, because when Gladys was 2 years old, he climbed on a railroad train and disappeared. Nobody blamed him. Now and then you'd see Mrs. Herdman walking the cat on a length of chain around the block, but she worked double shifts at the shoe factory and wasn't home much. My mother's friend, Miss Phillips, was a social service worker, and she tried to get some welfare money for the Herdmans so Mrs. Herdman could just work one shift and spend more time with her children. But Mrs. Herdman wouldn't do it. She liked the work, she said. It's not the work, Miss Phillips told my mother, and it's not the money. It's just that she'd rather be at the shoe factory than shut up at home with that crowd of kids. She sighed. I can't say I blame her. It's true that the charity people give them a ham in the book, but we don't hear about it until the last chapter. There are hints throughout that the Herdmans are suffering from poverty. Like, we hear they had to put their youngest baby in a bureau drawer, but like I said, those are played for laughs. We only sympathize with them looking back after the last chapter. It's like a twist. I think that's more interesting than what this movie is doing.
What if the Hermans ruin this for you?
They probably will, but it's not about me. Jesus was born for the Herdmans as much as he was for us. We'll be missing the whole point of the story if we turn them away.
Seems like they're making the mom a nobler character in the book. Like, there, she doesn't admit that the pageant is probably going to be a disaster until right before it's going to go down. Before then, she's like, I'm going to make this the best Christmas pageant ever seen. It's more about pride. She wants to show all the people who are bad-mouthing her. The book, I'd say the book definitely has a message, but we don't realize it until the last chapter. Here, they're pretty much broadcasting like this is going to be a movie with a message, and I think that makes it less interesting.
Now that's a pageant I'd actually like to see. Mother Mary puffing on a cigar, the shepherds clobbering each other with their hooks. $5 say they burned down the manger.
So I've been pretty negative for a while, but there's a lot of stuff in this trailer that's from the book. They've got Imogene stealing from the donation box, Gladys going Shazam, dropping a whole tray of silverware. And while the old made-for-TV movie, I think that was closer from the book from what it looks like, this one looks like it has better child actors in it. And that's a big plus when you're telling a story with this many kid characters. So I'm not loving everything about this adaptation so far, but I'm still definitely looking forward to seeing